Hello, my name's Ian Gordon. I'm a member of the church community here in St Mary's and Eanswythe Folkestone. I've been here for the last 40 years, and for 20 odd years from 1955 I was also a boy chorister and also an adult chorister. And I've seen lots of things change in the church. The churchyard is an extraordinary place. It's one of the biggest I know in Kent around a church, full of graves going back 200, 300, 400 years. There was a time in the 1950s, 60s and 70s when people seemed to respect the churchyard more than they do now. And the pity is that people treat it as a picnic site. We've had trouble with graffiti and gravestones being broken. But the beauty of this week's Graveyard Survey is, of course, that seeing people in the churchyard, people have shown an interest and actually been asking questions and being told a bit about the history of the churchyard and its place in Folkestone. The church, of course, has been here for this building, the eastern part of this building's been here for over 800 years. And it was the only church in Folkestone right through until the 1850s, just after the railway came. And it has something of a tradition of being part and parcel of Folkestone's history. It is a civic church, and in the front pew in the nave there is a brass stand for the mayor's mace, and the newly elected mayor will come every year on Mayor Sunday and take his or her place at the nave there and celebrate her years coming years of office.
Okay, so what's been really fascinating about our time here in this graveyard, because we have essentially been inhabiting this space now for about five days. We're coming here first thing in the morning, staying until quite late in the afternoon, and just really observing the way that people use this space. And that was again a key part of this project, was really understanding what people do with this space, because you can miss how important this space is to different people, and the position of it at the very centre of this town, with lots of different kind of paths through it, brings in all kinds of different people from different parts of the town together. So we have very much been observing what people have been doing, and it's been a range of different uses. I spoke to one man on the first day who said he just comes in here for 10 minutes every single day and sits with a book, and that's part of his daily routine. Other people come in, they've been sitting, maybe reading, maybe having a picnic. It's a space to come into from this really quite busy outside world around Folkestone, and to just take a minute to enjoy not only the kind of cultural aspects of this site, but the fact that it's a very beautiful natural environment, and the coming together of these two aspects I think are very important to people, whether it's subconsciously or consciously so. One of the more unusual things that we've seen here in this graveyard survey is a young man who comes in here every couple of days to walk his tortoises. He was saying to us that it's an ideal spot because not only is it quite quiet compared to some of the other parks full of dogs and so forth, it's also got quite a few weeds, so it's the ideal ground for his tortoises. So I think, yeah, people are using this site for all kinds of the more expected purposes, but also some of the more unexpected purposes too. That's the thing I think we've noticed throughout the day. We'd come first thing in the morning and you may have the rough sleepers who are here positioned throughout the graveyard, sleeping overnight, that they would come and go during the day, and then we'd have always the school children first thing in the morning, then about this time of the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, people coming out for their lunch as well. So there's a kind of ebb and flow of different types of people throughout the day, which I think is what keeps this site so interesting, but also so vibrant, and you really get a sense when you inhabit it and spend time here of how important it is to a whole range of different communities from all different backgrounds. So it's a fascinating site.
I tend to get some mothers and children because they'll come straight out of school, and I generally come about that time because that's when I've got a bit of free time. Sometimes you see some kids sat on that grave there, making a bit of noise, but I guess not doing much harm. That's about it really. Just other than normal people walking past, get a lot of dog walkers come through and that as well. Used more as a access route than a park or anything really. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but definitely it gets some footfall, but not maybe as much as you'd think. It's not as busy as you might expect it to be, but then it is tucked out of the way a little bit more, so maybe people don't know about it as much.
We're from Cumbria, near the Lake District, and we're just down for a Monday to Friday trip. So this is our last day, and we haven't actually been in Folkestone yet. So it's been really nice to have a walk around here and along the front as well to the Lees. So, and the sunny weather is marvellous.
And did you come through the graveyard because it's a kind of connection point between different areas of Folkestone, or just because you fancied having a look?
Well, it's interesting looking at the old stones, see who was here before. Some of the really old ones are interesting.
We'd seen the church down
Yeah.
on the bottom, so we thought we'd have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to use Graveyard as the sort of scenic route actually. When you're sort of taking a route down from the top of town to the bottom of town, it's always, although slightly longer, it's a pleasant way to go. And today we're just killing a little bit of time whilst my wife goes to the post office.
Well, I don't know, it's very like accessible as a hangout spot because obviously it's close to town, it's close to where we live, and not a lot of people come here. But whereas if you go to like Kingston Gardens or Radnor Park or something, there's loads of people, so it's kind of just out the way and like not that known about. Yeah, it's nice here. Like you're surrounded by town, but you just come here. It's nice and quiet. Right? Sit down for a bit.
The sun always shines on it in the summer as well, so it's always a warm spot. Just come and sit, play chess. That's what we normally do.
Oh, you're big chess fans, are you?
Yeah.
I tried that chess online, but I couldn't get through.
I know.
So, is there something kind of meditative about the space, would you say?
Yeah, in a way. With all the trees about, I don't know, it's very welcoming. There's never really a time when it's not welcoming in the day. And it's calm, so it's always quite bliss to sit around in the sun. It just feels peaceful as well, seeing as the town centre's just there. And if you go over there, you just hear a million things coming at you from different angles. But when you're here, you just hear rustling of trees.
We walk through here every day, so because it's the way we go to get to our house.
How often do you use the graveyard? Do you...
Every day. Oh, and I'm not long out of it really. No, every day I use it, yeah, if I can. But I mean, yeah, it's, I think it's too public though. I was telling the young lady there, there's too much, you know what I mean, going on. They might as well just open that up right way through and put cars through here, aren't they, really? It's like Piccadilly Circus.
What do you like about the graveyard? I take it you're walking your dog quite a lot.
You're making no sense out of me. I've got to go, yeah. But
Okay, no worries.
no, the dog likes it up here and all. She likes going in amongst all them bushes. Don't know why.
So what I discovered today was that Charles Dickens lived just here in 1855 while he was writing Little Dorrit. And discovering that, I discovered at the same time that this tomb here, this casement tomb, at that time would have just been very new. It's a tomb to a young woman called Fanny Faulkner, who died at the age of 35. It's got a beautiful willow tree on it, a symbol of sadness and mourning. Her husband Francis died about 20 years later and got special permission to be put in the tomb next to her.
It's Steve. I live in Folkestone. I'm very interested in local history, especially Anglo-Saxon period. And I've always been aware of the archaeological lot that are digging today, and I said I'd come along for the week and do some sketching for them. It's part of their sort of overall project to have these sort of drawings and things, because they bring a little bit more to the picture than a photograph, I think, sometimes. Yeah, I'm looking to capture, I mean, the light yesterday morning was quite overcast, so I can catch that. Another day you'll see that the sun, or this afternoon, the light is quite different, so I'm looking at the light. And when you sketch, you're looking to catch the mood, you've got flowers in blossom, but it's a picture of overall, not just a split second in time. I have to point a camera and go click. It's great detail.
I want to see monuments, some churches like this. It's an ancient church, and I'm interested in that kind of monument. And this church is very interesting because it's an old church, and there are many things that remember Catholic Church in this building.
And compared to Italy, where you're from, does the design, is the iconography different?
The design of the church is completely different here. is English type. In Italy, they are different, not like this.
This is a tablet that was originally planted with a tree to mark the centenary of the foundation of St Eanswythe School on the site in Church Street in 1901 to 2001, 100 years later.
And have you discovered that in the survey today?
Yes, we just found it at the back of the cemetery site.
Somebody
isolated.
Yes,
so we've
I'd forgotten about that, but it does need completely redoing.
My name's Roma Mortimer, and I'm a member of FRAG, which is the Folkestone Research and Archaeological Group. And I've been involved since we were digging the Roman villa in 2009-10, and we dug the Quernstone factory on the East Cliff. So it's the Folkestone group really that's got me involved with it. Yeah.
And have you ever done archaeology professionally before?
No, it's purely amateur interest.
And what's your best find that you found so far?
Possibly a medallion on the spoil heap of the Roman villa site that's turned out not to be Roman. It's possibly late Georgian, but it's got twins on it, and I've had it conserved and it looks good. So that's probably my best find.
Okay, I just went into the old part of the old churchyard, which is now a part of the vicarage garden, I believe, where archaeologists are doing a quick dig to try and discover maybe some medieval remains or medieval stuff that will try to pin down something about St Eanswythe.
And had you heard of St Eanswythe before?
Absolutely,
okay.
I've worshipped here. I moved to Folkestone a couple of months ago, and this is now my parish church. And Post Saints' Day is on my birthday, so it's particularly relevant to me. Always interested in the feminist side of the Anglican religion, so it's all the more fascinating for having this. It just gives another dimension to being a part of this community.
And would you say she's kind of like a folk hero?
Oh, I should think so. I would say so. A very quiet folk hero. She needs to be more at the forefront. The more we learn about her, obviously, the more that we're going to celebrate her and perhaps learn more about what she did.
What have you got there?
So here we have an isolated toe bone from an adult person, which is here in the finds box. It's been found as part of this context here we see in front of us. So this is a radius, which is one of the lower arm bones, and it's an adult human.
And is it in quite good condition?
It's in very good condition. It's being cleaned up beautifully, and it's intact, almost intact, and yes, it's preserved extremely well. So yeah, it's fantastic.
And is it something you'd expect to find here?
You would expect to find it here, considering that we are part of the churchyard here. But again, it's isolated, so it's that there are, as part of these sites, these sites were sites of recycling and bones when the new bodies are put in, and there's been development works over time. You would expect to find isolated bones in positions in there.
Yes, well, my name is Leonard Greenwood, and I live in the adjacent Albion Villas, which is on the west side of the churchyard. In the 1906 large-scale Ordnance Survey map, our back garden has the legend Site of Old Priory, which we think is probably just drawn conventionally for the area further to the east. But nevertheless, it'd be interesting to see if there was anything in there.
My name's Tanya Henson. I own the flower shop Stem by Stem in Church Street, which is neighbours to the church here, and I'm very interested in local history, and I thought it was a good opportunity to come down and give her a bit of help.
And can you tell me what you're learning today?
I've learnt the basic skills because I know nothing. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I know nothing about how to do the dig. But yeah, I've learnt a couple of skills: how to use a mattock and a trowel. So yeah, it's really interesting.
And is it? Have you sort of found an interest in St Eanswythe, being so local to?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in the church in general, and the fact that there's been a site here since Anglo-Saxon times. So it is, you know, obviously there's a lot of things that have happened here, and it's really interesting to maybe discover a few things that have that we can find.
And have you been involved in heritage projects before, or is this one of the first?
No, this is the first time I've been involved in one.
And would you like me to do it again?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Excellent.